Lokai has been roaming this forest for months, searching for somewhere to call home. The jungle can be a lonely place for a single macaque. He now has a big decision to make. To the west of him are a clan called the Street Troop, led by a seasoned alpha. This family enjoy a life of plenty on the edge of the city, literally stumbling over their food. To the north are the Hill Troop. A grizzled warrior rules over these forest dwellers, and they know all the tricks of the jungle. Lokai aspires to have a family like this, of being an alpha like one of them. And he's prepared to fight for this dream. Lokai's story takes place in Southeast Asia, on the island of Singapore. Long-tailed macaques are native here and can be found all over the country. The Street Troop live in the middle of the island, right on the edge of a forest reserve. The same forest that Lokai has just emerged from. As an intruder, he must be careful not to be seen. First, he must learn who he's up against. With over 30 members, the Street Troop are a large family, led by an unusually bulky alpha, Matnau. He walks with an unmissable strut, and around here is known as King of the Streets. Matnau's ruled for 8 years, one of the longest reigns of any alpha in Singapore. And he gets the respect he deserves. At 20 years old, Matnau is also one of the oldest alphas around. But he has no plans to retire. Why would he walk away from this paradise? His territory straddles the best of two worlds, where the edge of the jungle meets the start of the city. It means the family can shelter in the forest when they need to, and have a fully stocked larder growing right next door. The urban gardens serve up an almost unlimited buffet, so there's plenty to go around. Being born a Street Troop kid means you're unlikely to ever go hungry. Their dad, Matnau, makes ruling look easy. But the Street Troop's good fortune is no accident. Matnau has fought hard to secure this home for his family. He expects them all to behave themselves. Like all long-tailed macaque troops, each member of his family has a ranking. Matnau is, of course, number 1. Next are 3 large adult males, the Henchmen. They've fought to win their spots at the top. Now, they're Matnau's right-hand monkeys. It's a job that comes with excellent perks. Next in line are the high-ranking females, the sisterhood. Unlike the henchmen, these ladies were born into their privilege. Mothers pass their rankings to their daughters and teach them how to enjoy a life of pampering. But not everyone has it so good. Sara is one of the lowest-ranked females in the troop. She's 5 months pregnant and due any day. But that doesn't mean she's getting much attention. Last in line are the teenage boys. Soon, Matnau will force them to leave home. Even a laid-back leader won't tolerate too much testosterone around. After all, every male macaque aspires to be an alpha. And unlike the females who remain with the troop for life, a young male creates his own destiny. Just like Lokai is doing. At 9 years old, he's in his prime. In a fight against Matnau, the odds would be in his favor. But with the loyal henchmen involved, he'd be outnumbered. Perhaps he'd be better off trying to move in on the hill troop. The edge of their territory begins just under 2 kilometers away from where Lokai is now. Their home is bigger than Matnau's. But having more space doesn't necessarily equal an easier life. Most of the hill troop's territory is thick jungle, which they share with a diverse range of creatures. Some are a little tougher than others. Here, the hill troop live a much wilder lifestyle than their street-smart cousins. There are no fancy gardens for them to forage through, and no comfortable walls to lounge around on. Instead, they make do with a tree branch for their morning pampering session. But they must always choose their resting spot carefully. Some of their forest neighbors can be dangerous. Letting one of these carnivores get too close could easily lead to an untimely ending. And with just over 20 family members, every monkey counts. Like every long-tailed macaque family, the hill troop are led by an alpha male. But Arav, their ruler, is no ordinary monkey. He's 25 years old, ancient by macaque standards, and he's a tough, seasoned warrior. Scars are a testament to fights he's fought and won. He's never lost a battle. Arav is supported by 2 aging henchmen and an unusually large harem of females. Some a little worn out by a life of endless mothering. At 21, Judith is the oldest and one of the highest ranked females in the troop. She's birthed 7 babies in her lifetime, and they've all survived to adulthood. High-ranked females and their kids get the best food, the best shelter, and the best protection from predators. Lokai has now spent nearly a week stalking both troops. Plotting to overthrow an alpha is a bold move. Very few males attempt a direct attack. If Lokai tries, he'll be putting his life on the line. It would be much safer for him to become a henchman and perhaps inherit the top job one day. But Lokai doesn't seem to want to wait. He wants to rule over a troop now. He's also desperate to secure himself a home territory on an island that has limited space. "200 years ago, most of Singapore was covered in lush tropical rainforest. Back then, there were tens of thousands of long-tailed macaques here. These days, 90% of the jungle has disappeared, and with it, many of the monkeys. Now, there are only around 2,000 macaques surviving in Singapore. And most have had to adapt to the urban world right on their doorstep. But despite the loss of so much of the jungle, Singapore is still one of the greenest countries in the world. What remains of the rainforest is protected. And on the edge of the jungle, hundreds of carefully planted trees and shrubs create an accidental monkey paradise. Matnau's streets are lined with over 20 tropical plum trees. And they've just come into season. If food was scarce, a low-ranked male would never be allowed to eat first. But in Matnau's troop, those rules rarely apply. There's more than enough for everyone to literally stuff their faces. Cheek pouches are filled to capacity. They're like a monkey's shopping bag, a means to take food away for later. Lokai would be happy to get his hands on just one plum. But he isn't rushing in. He seems wary of Matnau's henchmen, always close to their leader. But perhaps the henchmen are growing complacent. They have no idea Lokai is nearby, or that they are missing one of their family members. Hanging back, 100 meters away, is Sara, the low-ranked female. Just a few hours ago, she gave birth to baby boy Max. These first moments are her time to bond with him. Just the two of them. But this bonding time can't last long. Sara must rejoin the troop. A mom and a newborn are vulnerable alone. Sara hasn't eaten since yesterday. A few ripe plums are exactly what she needs, especially with Max demanding food too. He's totally reliant on her milk for the first few months of his life. Sara may be hungry, but she shouldn't be dawdling here. The rest of the family have already finished breakfast and are on the move. They're not waiting around for her. It's up to Sara to keep up. But she wants to let Max finish suckling. She's used to trailing behind the group. But now that she has Max, she must be more careful. The streets can be a dangerous place for a newborn. And a creature from the jungle has just arrived into street troop territory. This carnivore has an excellent sense of smell, and he can smell blood. Monitor lizards are skilled hunters. Max would be no match for its claws. With her family long gone, Sara must get Max to safety by herself. Up high is usually the safest place to be. But height isn't a deterrent for this predator. The lizard's sharp claws mean it can scale this near-vertical trunk with ease. Despite being exhausted from her morning, Sara keeps moving. Luckily, the lizard's jumping skills are no match for hers. Still, Sara keeps a careful eye on the reptile. She doesn't realize there could be a far bigger threat looming nearby. Lokai. If he overthrows Matnau, he will want to father his own bloodline. New alphas sometimes kill the smaller babies in the troop to make space for their own. And Max is now the youngest. Morning in Singapore's forests are rush hour for most of the residents. It's breakfast time. Unlike their city slicker cousins, the hill troop must work a little harder for their meals. There are plenty of fruit trees in the forest, but they don't grow in organized rows like out on the streets, and each comes into season at a different time of the year. These aren't ripe yet. The family split up and spread out over hundreds of meters to see what is ready to eat. They know their home turf like the back of their hands. And remember where each and every fruiting tree is, and approximately when it should be ripe. A few of the youngsters check out one of their fig trees. They're picky about which ones they eat. Green means it will taste too bitter. Red means it is ready, but they don't like them too ripe. Those ones don't taste as good. Finally, this fussy youngster finds one to his taste. Fruit makes up the bulk of the hill troop's diet. But it can take a while to find enough for all 20 of them. This morning, they've ended up separating into small foraging groups so that each monkey has enough to eat. Arav's henchmen end up far from their leader, distracted by the forest larder. A caterpillar is an unexpected treat. Finally, with full tummies, the hill troop begin to regroup and realize something is wrong. Arav has been attacked. The first back from foraging have already rushed to his side. But it looks like it's too late. Arav is covered in fresh blood and deep bites. Nearby, no longer in hiding, is Lokai. He's finally challenged an alpha. And without his henchmen, it appears Arav lost the fight. But a troop takeover is not as simple as beating up the alpha. Lokai must now get the females on his side. They've been loyal to Arav since he seized power 4 years ago. And by the way they are tending to his wounds, it looks like they still are. After all, Arav's been a good leader, never losing a battle until now. But Judith and the rest of the family need to be realistic. They need a strong alpha, a male who can protect their territory and father hardy babies. Judith has seen at least 3 alphas come and go in her lifetime with the troop. And she always wants what's best for her daughters and grandchildren. Arav faces a difficult choice. The family need him to prove he is the best option. With his henchmen by his side, he could try to fight Lokai again. But his injuries will put him at a disadvantage. He could lose his life. The alternative is to stand down and allow Lokai to seize power. But for now, Arav is forced to put all decisions on hold. A storm is brewing. Singapore lies just 1 degree north of the equator, where it's always hot and humid. And right now, it's monsoon season. Every few days, heavy rain clouds roll in. The skies darken, and the rain begins to fall. The city is soaked. 700 million liters of water can rain down in just a few hours. Some of the city's residents take shelter, while others brave it out. The downpour usually doesn't last long. But for the last week, the weather has been different. Clouds blanket the city. Unusual cold winds bring a chill to the air. The rains keep coming. Singapore is having a cold snap. In the jungle, it's even chillier than the streets. The hill troop should take shelter in the trees. But Arav has disappeared. Without him, the family have no leader. No one to make the decisions. Lokai makes his final move. And with no one to challenge him, he takes his place as new alpha of the Hill Troop. Just under 2 kilometers away, on the edge of his streets, Matnau has corralled his large family into the trees to shelter. The endless rain is testing Sara's strength as a new mom. For days, Max's life has been in danger. He only has a thin layer of newborn hair, and he could easily catch a cold. The high-ranked females huddle together to keep their youngsters dry. Sara does her best on her own. She shelters Max until finally the rains ease. The cold snap is over. With the storms past, Sara quickly gets Max warmed up. If he stays healthy, it will be her efforts that brought him through. Max may have been born to a low-ranked female, but Sara is proving to be the best mom he could hope for. After days of sheltering, Max's older half-brothers and sisters are bursting with energy. If Max survives a few more weeks, he'll be big enough to join in on this playtime. Matnau runs a play-fighting class for some of the older kids. It's important they learn how to defend themselves. And learn to pick the right moment to retreat. Not all alpha males are so in touch with their fatherly side. But Matnau is an experienced alpha and has learned that spending time with his kids gives them the best start in life. Play is a crucial part of his kids' education. It helps them develop their social skills, improve their coordination, and learn about this manicured world that they have been born into. The older kids take their games to new heights. They may be living on the edge of the forest, but they still need to know how to climb trees and how to get out of them. Over the years, Matnau has fathered around 50 children. Sadly, not all have survived. But for those that do, they have two very different paths their lives will take. His daughters will stay in the troop to become mothers when they are around 6 years old. Matnau will no longer be alpha by then. His sons, like little Max, will eventually leave home. Max could even grow up to become a king, like his father. As the light fades, Matnau calls for the family to get ready for bed. They head for a large tree where all 30 members of the troop can comfortably tuck in. The high-ranked females form their exclusive huddle. For the lower-ranked, bedtime is often more of a solitary affair. Sara expects to spend the night alone. But she has a surprise visitor. A young female, curious to meet Max. With no baby of her own yet, this is a chance for her to practice being a mom. And for Sara, it's nice to have some adult company. Matnau makes sure everyone is in bed before he heads up. His family may have adapted to a life on the edge of the city. But at night, they still take to the trees to sleep, just as their ancestors have done for hundreds of years. The temperature in Singapore's forests once again hits 33 degrees. But life here is far from normal for the hill troop. It's taking some time for everyone to get used to Lokai being their leader. Every alpha male has a unique touch, and so far, Lokai seems to be a little indecisive. The family have been waiting for hours for him to lead them out to forage for breakfast. But Lokai seems hesitant. He doesn't know this part of the forest like they do. Judith is getting impatient. Arav would have them all spread out looking for fruit by now. Lokai seems to realize he's not doing a good job. Keeping the family happy so they stay loyal to him is crucial. Questionable decisions are often made under pressure. And Lokai is about to take a huge risk. Lokai has had lots of practice at navigating through this forest. He heads south, toward the urban world. The family fall in line and follow him. Even though they're a little wary of the big primates. But Lokai seems comfortable. In his travels, he's seen plenty of them. The family quickly adapt to Lokai's pace. Everyone is keeping up. Mostly. The troop arrive at the edge of their territory. Beyond the barrier is street troop land. Bringing the family here is a very risky move. If Matnau and his henchmen are around, they will very likely attack. The hill troop cautiously follow their new leader. With no sign of any other macaques, their confidence grows. Lokai leads them out of the parking lot and deeper into street troop territory. Lokai remembers this place. It's where he watched Matnau's family stuff their faces with fruit. With no sign of the street troop, he pushes on. The last time he was here, the pavements were covered in fresh tropical plums. But now, most of the fruit is rotten. The heavy rains appear to have destroyed them. And although they're hungry, the family won't get much nourishment from decaying fruit. This explains why there's not a street troop member in sight. They've moved on to greener pastures. Just under 2 kilometers away, in a large housing estate, Matnau's family are scoping out a new foraging location. It's a little more urban than they're used to, but they've hit the jackpot. Everyone tucks into a meal. Even low-ranked Sara munches down on a large papaya fruit. Being a member of the street troupe means you never go hungry. It's one of the main reasons the troupe are so loyal to Matnau. He's been around long enough to know where to find food when times are tough. The only downside to leading his family out of their home territory is leaving it wide open to intruders. On the edge of Matnau's streets, Lokai tries to sleep. But he's chosen the wrong tree. Right next to the road, close to streetlights. It's so bright that the whole hill troop is awake. They're confused and get up, ready to start the day as if it's early morning. But it's evening, and being on the streets at night is a dangerous move. The worst possible time for youngsters to play. Dazzling moving lights are not something the hill troop are used to. They have no idea how to dodge traffic that they can barely see. Some family members wander off, away from the main group. Lokai seems out of his depth. He had hoped leading his new family closer to the city would be a good move. Now, it appears he's put them directly in the path of danger. Arav was once a great warrior, the leader of around 20 long-tailed macaques. But he fought and lost his troop to an invading male. Now, still nursing his wounds, he watches from afar. As the young, inexperienced new alpha allows his family to stay up well past their bedtime. The hill troop aren't used to city life. They grew up in the nearby forest, where there were no dazzling lights or noisy beasts disturbing their sleep. Lokai, who's only been in power for a few weeks, recently led the family here in search of a better life. He's out of his element and doesn't seem to understand how dangerous the urban world can be, especially at night. The Hill Troop live in Singapore, in the heart of Southeast Asia. Their usual home is in the middle of the island, in this part of the jungle. When Arav, their old, grizzled alpha, was in charge, they were content in the forest. They knew all the tricks to survive here. But when Lokai drove Arav away and took over, he led the hill troop out of the forest and into another family's home. This territory on the edge of the jungle is monkey paradise. Gardens overflow with food, and the forest is still close enough to shelter it. The street troop have held this prime real estate for years, and they don't share. Their alpha, Matnau, will drive out any macaque that dares set foot in his precious home. But when Lokai arrived here yesterday, the street troop were nowhere to be seen. So, he decided it was safe for his family to stay. But the hill troop's first night in Matnau's home has not gone well. Traffic kept them awake most of the night. They're confused and exhausted. Even worse, Lokai has just realized one of the youngest members of the troop is missing. This mom can't find her baby. He's not with the rest of the toddlers. Macaque family groups are very close. When one monkey is stressed like she is, the rest of the family try to help. Searching the road where the kids were last playing is the least they can do. Mom calls out. She hasn't lost hope. Lokai finally spots something. But it's not good news. The baby must have been struck by a car in the darkness. Macaques grieve just like people, and the sight of the body is very distressing for the family. Mom frantically calls for him to come to her. Unlike the rest of the troop, she doesn't seem to accept that he's passed away. She tries to encourage him off the busy road. Finally, in desperation, she carries her baby to a safer place. Now, she realizes he's dead. The Hill Troop have had a traumatic 24 hours in the Street Troop's home. Lokai hurries the family away from the streets. Arav, whose baby son just died, follows from a distance. Just under 2 kilometers away, the Street Troop are having a very different start to their morning. Unlike the Hill Troop, they're seasoned townies and know how to safely sleep in the city at night. The trick is to choose a tree away from busy roads and streetlights. Matnau, their alpha of 8 years, led his family out of their usual territory a few days ago in search of some of his favorite fruit. Bananas. Matnau hasn't laid eyes on these for months. As alpha, he always gets first dibs. He quickly stuffs down 3 in a row. There are still plenty left for all 34 members of his family. Matnau occasionally leads his troop away from their home territory, always in pursuit of tasty food like this. There's just one problem, though. Bananas are full of sugar. This is the macaque equivalent of eating candy for breakfast. After years of indulging, Matnau is showing signs that his unhealthy diet is catching up with him. He's a little overweight, and his teeth have seen better days. Every alpha has a weak spot, and junk food is Matnau's. Sara, the lowest-ranked female in the troop, is last to grab her share. She keeps her distance from the rest of the family, especially the females. Her baby, Max, is only 2 weeks old, and at this age, the other ladies in the troop might have a sinister interest in him. Higher-ranked females can sometimes kidnap a low-ranked baby and deliberately let it die. They'd rather their own children be the ones that survive and get all the resources. This high-status female could be plotting to grab Max. Sara moves as far away from her as possible. By mid-morning, it's too hot to be out and about, and the high-ranked females, the sisterhood, gather under a roof to keep cool. Sara keeps her distance. She's not taking any risks with Max. At this age, he suckles every few hours. This is why it's so important that she doesn't let the sisterhood steal him away. He wouldn't survive long without her milk. Matnau and his 3 henchmen ignore the brewing tension amongst the females. They have their own politics to navigate. As adult males, the henchmen would prefer to be alphas, but they choose to live under Matnau's rule. It's a comfortable life. Keeping them well-fed is one of the secrets behind Matnau's unusually long reign. A henchman with a full belly is more likely to remain loyal and help him drive out intruders. If Matnau knew that at this very moment the hill troop were walking all over his home, he would not be allowing them to sit around like this. Long-tailed macaques are creatures of habit and routine. Each family knows their territory like the back of their hands. So if they move into a new home, it's a risk. One troop's paradise can be another troop's hell. In their own territory in the forest, the hill troop know exactly where to safely rest and where to look for a meal. But this place is bewildering, and they don't have the energy to try and figure it out. Instead, they head towards their jungle home. But just as they reach the edge of Matnau's territory, Lokai finally spots something to eat. This fruit is out for the taking, but he can't seem to pick it up. Lokai is confused. Still, the fruit is enough to pause the troop's journey home. Long-tailed macaques are very curious creatures, willing to try anything once. like drinking rain droplets from the roof of a car. Engrossed in this new way of quenching their thirst, they're unaware that they are being followed. Arav watches his old troop from afar. If Lokai sees him, he'll most likely attack. A fallen alpha usually retreats to live his days out alone. But Arav is not moving on. It's rare, but some disposed alphas have been known to reclaim their troop. Especially if the new alpha is out of his depth, like Lokai is. He hasn't noticed Arav. He's too caught up with trying to work out if he can feed his hungry troop here. He sends his family to scout for more accessible food. A few of the teenagers find an open truck. The Hill Troop youngsters have probably never encountered objects like this before. It's difficult to work out what is edible. Bingo. After a rough morning, the Hill Troop think their luck is changing. Rice tastes delicious, and it quickly fills their bellies. But human food is bad news. It will soon upset their digestive system. Worse, it will change their natural behavior. Long-tailed macaques instinctively keep their distance from people. But if they figure out they can grab an easy meal, they can become bold and aggressive. Upsetting the delicate balance between us and them. Luckily, a bit of education goes a long way, and the people that live in the street troops' territory have learned to keep their food out of sight. But mistakes do occasionally happen. Lokai and the Hill Troop just happened to cross paths with a visitor who didn't know how to behave around a hungry family of monkeys. And now that the Hill Troop have filled their bellies, they're more open to sticking around. They spread out to explore Matnau's home more thoroughly. Within a few hours, the family discover plenty of nourishing food to sample. Plants from all over the world flourish in the gardens that surround Matnau's streets. They taste different to the vegetation and fruits that the Hill Troop are used to eating in their jungle. If they stick to this type of fare and leave human food out of their diet, they'll thrive in the street troops' home. It looks like Lokai made the right decision to bring his family here, after all. Deeper in the city, the street troop soak up their new home, away from home. Coming here is like going on holiday for them. Breakfast is as many bananas as you can eat. Followed by a siesta. Or for the kids, a visit to the playground. Young macaques learn a lot from this rough and tumble. It helps them test their strength and hone their acrobatic moves. Crucial skills for a young street troop member to master. Moving around on the edge of the city can sometimes be a bit of a balancing act. But if they can get the hang of navigating through the urban world, the payoff can be delicious. The bigger, two-legged primates that call this area home aren't used to having the street troop around. They don't realize how resourceful Matnau's family are. The teenagers don't have any success breaking in here. But an unlocked bin nearby has some delicious treats. Out on the streets, there's even more rubbish to pick through. Matnau is in his element. This is why he loves coming here, to indulge his sweet tooth. His family copy their leader and stuff themselves with human food. To satisfy their cravings, they grow bolder. One of Matnau's henchmen steals a whole jar of cookies from a front yard. It ends up in the hands of one of the highest-ranked females, the same one Sara was earlier trying to avoid. Now, against her natural instincts, Sara heads straight for her. By being this close, Sara risks Max being kidnapped. But the smell of sugar overpowers her usual careful behavior. Luckily for Max, the high-status female alters her natural behavior too. All her focus is on the cookies. By mid-morning, most of the troop find somewhere high up to nap. Sara now gets to pick through the scraps. Distracted, she doesn't notice the high-ranked female watching her. She keeps a careful hold of Max. But then, intent on fallen crumbs, she forgets about him. He's too young to know that it's dangerous to leave Mum's side. He falls into the clutches of the higher-ranked female, and she runs away with him. Sandwiched between two of the sisterhood females, Sara desperately tries to pull Max away. But the kidnapper won't let go. Thirsty Max tries to suckle from her, but she has no milk. Sara must get him back before he becomes dehydrated. The sisterhood females don't care if he dies. Sara's only chance of saving her baby is to stay close and hope that the kidnapper drops her guard so Sara can rescue him. For Lokai and the Hill Troop, life couldn't be better. They've settled into Matnau's home and have quickly got used to all the new sights and sounds that come with living near the streets. Even the somewhat strange foot traffic doesn't faze them. The Hill Troop have even acquired a small but dedicated fan club. For the youngsters in the family, living here is very exciting. There's a whole new world for a young, curious mind to explore. This is the first time the kids have encountered an African palm tree. And they can't resist investigating it more thoroughly. But they must be very careful. It's covered in large thorns. It takes precision and a bit of luck to get to the top without impaling a hand or a foot. Lokai joins them. After all, he is the alpha and isn't afraid of a few barbs. For those brave enough to navigate the spikes, there's a reward at the top. Oily fruits high in fat that taste delicious. Inspired by the kids, the females join in on the feast. Up until now, they've been a little more cautious than the youngsters about trying new things. It's harder for an old monkey to learn new tricks. After all, there's been a lot of change for the Hill Troop members in the last few weeks. And while most have adapted well, Judith hasn't. She spends most of her time alone. As the oldest female in the troop, she seems to be struggling to fit in here. Judith has seen several alphas rule over the Hill Troop in her lifetime. But none have so drastically changed the family's life like Lokai has. All the upheaval appears to motivate Judith to leave the safety of the group. Arav watches from afar as she moves away from her family. This is his chance to get close to one of his old allies. Judith doesn't seem alarmed by Arav's sudden appearance. She leads him further away from the rest of the family. They're now just over 400 meters from the main group. It's rare for a female to stop and spend time with a fallen alpha. Arav is no longer her leader, so there's nothing to be gained by being with him. But Judith once had a very close bond with Arav. He was her alpha for 4 years. It's clear their connection is still strong. Grooming him now when he's at his lowest appears to be her way of showing him that she still cares. The relationships that form between individual long-tailed macaques are complex, especially amongst the females, who are born into a set hierarchy. In a large family like the street troop, the high-ranked ladies tend to stick together. But they must also live side by side with the rest of the females in the troop. And their behavior towards them doesn't always go as expected. The sisterhood could easily have held on to Max, letting him perish. But for some reason, they let Sara take him back. Sara seems relieved. And although Max looks tired and thirsty, now that he's back with Mum, he can regain his strength. But Sara has a new problem. For the first time in recent memory, the street troop are hungry. The bigger primates here caught on to the new presence of macaques in their neighborhood and have monkey-proofed their world. From high up, Matnau takes stock of this sudden turn of events. He was enjoying the food around here, but he can't allow his troop to go hungry. The henchmen, especially, must be kept well fed to ensure they stay loyal. Matnau needs to make a fast decision. Either lead his troop home or push further into the city in search of more human food. He chooses the second option. An hour later, and with Matnau in the lead, the street troop arrive into a new part of the city. Matnau confidently guides them forward and up. He knows it's best to get up high, away from the busy road, where they can use the overhead shelter as a monkey highway to spread out and search for food. But it soon becomes clear that there is nothing edible up here. Matnau, usually so self-assured, seems at a bit of a loss. He knows he must find food for his troop. It's safer to keep his family up high. But perhaps they'll have to head down to street level. One of his henchmen goes first. Being in an unfamiliar place amongst the traffic is a big risk. But down here, the henchman does find something to eat. The rest of the family watch on, hungry. There's not enough for them to join in. The henchmen do not look happy. Being starved is not what they signed up for. They take out their frustration on other members of the troop. As henchmen, they're trained to fight Matnau's enemies. They're not meant to hurt each other. The troop are on the edge of a mutiny. Matnau calls for the henchmen and the rest of the family to regroup. A good leader knows when he has been beaten. If Matnau doesn't provide food, the troop won't follow him. He's out of options. He gives up on the city and heads for home. Of course, the hill troop have no idea that Matnau is on his way back. They're all still blissfully enjoying the street troop's territory. Everyone is relaxed, except for Lokai. He has a new problem to deal with. Judith has just arrived back, and she's brought someone with her. Arav. As alpha, Lokai won't allow any male into his troop who could challenge his position. And he's prepared to fight to hold on to the top spot. As they approach each other, Arav and Lokai size one another up. Lokai portrays an air of confidence, and Arav casts his eyes downward. A clear message that he doesn't want to challenge Lokai. Instead, Arav appears to be angling to rejoin the troop. Long-tailed macaques are social animals. They're happiest when part of a family. It's rare for a new alpha to allow an old one to return into the troop. But Lokai doesn't seem to see Arav as a threat anymore. It's simply not worth fighting him. Arav can stay. Arav is greeted by his own kids, although they seem a little confused as to who he is. After all, he's a shadow of the strong alpha he once was. But Arav appears content with his new position within the family. Arav brings up the rear of the group as they head down Matnau's streets. Lokai is at the front, and the females follow him. It's clear where their loyalties now lie. If Arav wants to stay in the troop, he must always behave submissively like this. But despite his downfall, it doesn't take long for old Arav to perk up. After weeks of isolation, time with his kids is exactly what he needs. Lokai doesn't seem fussed by their games. Perhaps a sign of his confidence as a leader. None of these males are a threat to him. Let them enjoy their playtime. Besides, Lokai is busy getting to know the females. As alpha, he gets to father most of the babies. It's one of the main perks of the top job. In the cool of the morning, Matnau prepares to lead his family home. But first, the whole troop need to come down to street level. Sara, with Max on board, rushes to keep up. The streets around here are chaotic. Anyone left behind will struggle to navigate through on their own. The street troop are cut off from their home territory by a busy 8-lane highway. But luckily, the family have a plan. A pedestrian bridge for the humans spans the road, and the street troop know how to use it. Escorted by a couple of henchmen, the sisterhood and their kids head off first. With no trees up here, it takes nerve to make this journey. There's nowhere to hide. A few of the teenagers are a little reckless. If they fell from here, it's unlikely they would survive. Sara, with Max firmly clasped to her chest, carefully makes the trip. Slow and steady is her plan. Over half the troop are already safely across. Sara's nearly there too. Matnau's family cleverly use the steps to descend, just like the bigger primates do. In a matter of minutes, all 34 members of the street troop have made it safely home. Matnau pauses on the edge of his territory. It feels different. There's a scent in the air, the smell of other monkeys. Long-tailed macaques are extremely territorial. The hill troop are trespassing by being here. Just when everything was going so well for Lokai, Matnau is back. Matnau has been a king for over 8 years. One of the longest reigns of any alpha in Singapore. He rules over the street troop, a large family of 34 long-tailed macaques. Their territory is one of the richest on the island. Matnau is known as a laid-back kind of leader, but he doesn't welcome visitors to his land. Lokai is the newest alpha around here. He's the boss of the Hill Troop, a small family of around 20. Most of them females and youngsters who are gradually getting used to Lokai being top dog. Their old alpha, Arav, still hangs around the troop. He's no threat to Lokai these days, so is allowed to stay. Lokai has been in charge for just over a month, and during this time, he's made some drastic changes to the Hill Troop's lives. The biggest one, leading them out of the forest into Matnau's idyllic home. Surprisingly, Matnau seemed to have moved out, so Lokai moved his new family in. Life is very good here. Or it was, until a few minutes ago. Matnau is home. Macaques have excellent eyesight. The two alphas spot each other immediately. Lokai, as the trespasser, must make a fast decision. Fight or flee. He chooses to confront Matnau. But he's going into battle alone. His two aging henchmen hang back with the females. They seem scared of the other, much larger troop. Matnau, on the other hand, is joined by his top henchman, Ajit, a ruthless fighter. Lokai realizes he's made the wrong decision. Outnumbered, he calls for his family to bolt for the trees. But it's too late. They can't get away quick enough. When rival macaque troops clash, it's the adult males that do most of the fighting. But in this skirmish, the Hill Troop females and kids are caught in the crossfire. As the last of Lokai's family escape into the forest, Matnau calls for his family to pull back and gather around him. Not a single member of his troop are injured. But Matnau wasn't the hero of the battle. It was Ajit, his right-hand henchman, who did most of the fighting. At 15 years old, Judith is considerably younger than his leader. He's been loyal to Matnau for years. But perhaps the king is getting too old for the top job. The street troop and the hill troop both live in Singapore, in the middle of the island. Their territories are right next to each other, but their homes couldn't be more different. The hill troops is mostly thick jungle. Which they share with some deadly neighbors. It's been a few weeks since the hill troop were last here in their forest. Sadly, it's not a joyful homecoming. The troop are in shock. Judith and Matnau's other henchmen were brutal. Judith, the highest-ranked female, has a nasty head wound. Comforting her is the least that Lokai can do. He should have given the command to flee sooner. And he should never have tried to challenge the street troop males. His inexperience as a leader has cost the family dearly. It's not just Judith paying the price. This young female can barely move her arm, and if she can't climb, she can't forage for food. It's a life-threatening injury. It would be better if she let Lokai tend to her, but she seems to want to keep to herself. Below, on the forest floor, the youngest member of the hill troop has paid the ultimate price for Lokai's misjudgment. The mom struggles to comprehend that her baby has passed away. She still feels a strong connection to him, and she grooms him as if he is still alive. She carries him gently back up into the trees. It could take her days to accept that he will never wake up. Lokai seems subdued, dejected. He was simply trying to create a better life for his new family when he led them into Matnau's territory. He never thought he would end up with blood on his hands, and with so many of them traumatized. Even old Arav, who a few weeks ago was desperate to rejoin the troop, has disappeared. Over in street troop territory, the mood couldn't be more different. Matnau's family celebrate their homecoming with a victory feast. The sisterhood tuck into the best plums at hand. As the highest-ranked ladies, they're used to getting the pick of the banquet. While the lowly, like Sara, make do with the leftovers. Sara's son Max isn't quite ready to join in on the buffet. He's only 5 weeks old, the youngest member of the troop, and isn't eating solids yet. But now that Max has made it through the first vulnerable weeks of life, Sara lets him leave the safety of her arms to explore a little. Like all long-tailed macaques, Max is born with the ability to grip and hold on tight. So climbing this comes naturally to him. Max is just one of the many children Matnau has fathered during his long reign. With every new baby born, Matnau seems to grow into a more laid-back dad. After all, he's got the system working perfectly for him. Raising the babies is the female's job. He only becomes a hands-on dad when the kids are bigger and ready for play-fighting lessons. Max is far too small to join in on the rough and tumble. But he appears to want to start lessons with Dad anyway. Matnau swiftly sends him on his way. But Max seems to have inherited his dad's physical strength and willful personality. Despite being dwarfed by the Great King, Max isn't backing down. Sara steps in. Now is not the time for her willful son to meet his father. With Max at a more appropriate distance, Matnau moves on to enjoy one of the perks of his alpha status: being pampered. As the top dog here, Matnau is guaranteed to always get VIP treatment. Grooming is a way for a macaque to show loyalty and win favors. Everyone in the family wants to get their hands on their leader. After all, he dictates just about everything that happens within the troop. Getting on his good side can make life easier. Matnau happily lets them compete to fuss over him. Being groomed feels a little like a massage. An excellent way to relax after this morning's battle. Ajit, the hero of the fight, also soaks up some pampering. As a reward for his loyalty, Matnau sometimes allows him to father kids. But he's rarely allowed to do so with a high-status lady like this. Matnau notices that Ajit is with the high-ranked female. Ajit seems to know he shouldn't be doing this, but he doesn't move on. Matnau lets him continue, just this once. It's too hot for a fight. The island of Singapore lies just north of the equator. It's always hot here. But this year, the dry season is breaking records. Today, the mercury hits 37 degrees. It's hotter than it's been in decades. Despite the heat wave, on the edge of the forest, in the street troops' territory, the bigger primates are out and about. Matnau has a little more sense. He's led his family into the slightly cooler jungle. In this intense heat, it's best to find a shady spot high up, where there is a chance of catching a breeze. This new mom does her best to keep her 3-day-old baby hydrated and cool. With the arrival of a new half-sibling, Max is no longer the baby of the troop. He's graduated to toddler status, and in true toddler fashion, throws his first tantrum. In this intense heat, he doesn't want to be held close by Mom. Sara isn't letting him roam around at this height. His climbing skills aren't that developed yet. He could easily fall. The rest of the troop would like to nap, but Max's outburst is making that impossible to do. Sara's essentially a single mom, which is a tough gig, especially when your baby is annoying everyone. Max is now really pushing the troop's tolerance. Sara knows she needs to get him under control. If Max keeps up this unsociable behavior, he will most likely end up receiving a smack from one of the sisterhood. That could send him tumbling. Sara hustles her grumpy toddler out of harm's way. It's been a couple of weeks since the hill troop were viciously attacked by Matnau's henchmen. The family are gradually recovering and getting used to life back in the jungle. The young female with the life-threatening injury is miraculously on the mend. With any luck, she'll regain full use of her arm. Below her on the forest floor is Arav, back to live amongst the family he once ruled. Close by is old Judith. Her wound is healing well, and she seems happy home in the forest. The place she has spent nearly all of her 21 years. Lokai keeps to himself this morning. He appears to be mulling over his next move. So far, his gung-ho approach to leadership hasn't worked out. Perhaps he just needs to take some time to figure out how to be an alpha around here. Maybe the first thing he needs to do is stop longing for other territory and instead learn about what he has right in front of him. After all, the females have lived in this forest for years. They know how to survive here, no matter what the weather or season. At the moment, nuts and seeds are plentiful. The troop fill their bellies. But unlike fruit, this meal has little moisture. Eating nuts is thirsty work. Not to worry, the hill troop have a secret source of fresh water. Tree hollows, scattered throughout the canopy, capture and hold rainwater. Over the years, the family have mapped out where all the tree cups are in their patch of the forest. When it hasn't rained for days, this water source is their backup. The females, who stay in the troop for life, teach their kids where the hollows are. Now they're sharing this knowledge with Lokai. Like all long-tailed macaques, he's a fast learner, and he soon works out that he simply needs to copy everyone else and use his fingers as a scoop to have a drink. After weeks of making questionable decisions for his family, Lokai is earning his place and coming to realize a good alpha can learn as he leads. The street troop wake up early to avoid the hottest part of the day. It's a safer time for the kids to play, and make sure they don't overheat. Playtime is crucial for a young macaque to develop social skills. These are the 2 to 3-year-old teenage boys. In just a few years, they'll be fully grown and will be forced to leave home. They'll head off to explore new territory and try to become an alpha. Very few will succeed. There's simply not enough space or females for them all to become kings. Most will have to settle for being a henchman or a lifelong bachelor. Max, who is now 2 months old, is a long way off from thinking about his future. At this age, it's all about making friends and having a bit of fun together. Now that he's gotten over his tantrum stage, he's learning how to interact with other macaques. This youngster is his older half-brother, and the bond they're building could last a lifetime. There are other siblings to get to know as well. As Max gets older, his ability to build alliances and foster loyalty will be crucial. A male with well-developed social skills has a better chance of becoming an alpha. Matnau has always excelled at monkey politics. He learned long ago how to keep his troop happy. In this kind of weather, the family want nothing more than to cool down. Matnau knows just the spot. On the edge of the forest, the street troop have their own secret source of water. These channels form a part of Singapore's extensive drainage system. Matnau brings the troop here when it gets unbearably hot. Sara, with baby Max on board, goes first. For once, her low ranking doesn't hold her back. There's no limit to this flowing water, so she can drink as much as she likes. One by one, the rest of the troop head down to get their fill. Once everyone has quenched their thirst, the older teenage boys move in. For them, this is much more than a drinking hole. It's Fight Club. It may look a little rough, but it's the best way to hone their combat skills. A potential alpha needs to be an excellent fighter. Matnau usually runs this class, but today he hangs back. The weeks of intense heat have finally caught up with him. All he seems capable of doing right now is resting. Matnau is 20 years old. Most long-tailed macaques don't live much longer than this. He's held power for the last 8 years, but ruling a large troop takes its toll. Alphas usually only last half the time he has. They inevitably get ousted by a younger, fitter male who can arrive from the outside or rise up from within. 100 meters away, Ajit ignores his leader. By spending more time with this high-ranked female, he sends a message to Matnau. I want what you have. A few months ago, Matnau would have reprimanded Ajit for this second transgression. But once again, he lets it slide. It appears that the old king has no fight left in him. By not retaliating, Matnau has revealed to Ajit just how weak he is. It doesn't take long for the rest of the family to notice the shift in dynamics. The street troop females are used to having a strong alpha who can protect them. Ajit has proven he is an excellent fighter. Matnau's reign could be about to end. In the hill troop's jungle home, Lokai leads his family out to forage for lunch. It didn't take him long to learn from the females about the huge variety of food in this part of the forest. It's not like dining in Matnau's home. Here, the fruit grows far and wide. Finding enough to feed everyone means they must cover a lot of ground. Navigating the gaps in the canopy takes skill and causes quite a ruckus. The commotion attracts a very distinctive forest neighbor, the racket-tailed drongo, one of the smartest birds in the country. This one has figured out that sticking close to the hill troop equals an easier meal. Small critters are hard to spot in the thick vegetation, unless they're disturbed. Following the macaques as they move around pays off in just a few minutes. For the hill troop, there's no advantage, but they seem to tolerate this one-sided relationship. Below, on a forest hiking path, Lokai looks very much at home. He also, finally, looks like an alpha. This is how a leader should be treated. Yasmin is one of the highest-ranked ladies in the troop. Having her support is a good sign for Lokai. These past few weeks have been a tough time for him. He's had to combine leadership with learning. But he finally seems to be doing everything right. Long-tailed macaques always aim to be in bed before dark. Up high, away from predators, is the best place to rest. Just like humans, they usually sleep through the night. But back in the street troops' territory, the family are still awake. Strangely, Matnau hasn't led them up to bed yet. He seems distracted. Flying insects attracted to the lights in Matnau's territory have just emerged en masse. Bugs are a treat for a macaque. Bite-sized protein snacks, if they can catch them. The teenagers try their luck, but they quickly turn what should have been a feast into a game. Sara keeps a firm hold on curious Max. He may be growing up fast, but he's not ready for this. Keeping the troop up late for a midnight snack could be Matnau's way of reminding his family that the old king still has a few tricks up his sleeve. The kids, at least, seem impressed by this nighttime adventure. But it would be unwise to keep them up too late. Matnau does a head count. Someone is missing. Under the cover of darkness, Ajit is with the high-ranked female. This time, Matnau takes action. Faced with a raging alpha out for his blood, Ajit flees. The street troop have stayed up all night. Matnau is on the warpath. The sight of Ajit taking the next step with one of his high-ranked females breathed new life into the old king. Matnau is now prepared to fight Ajit. But he can't find him anywhere around the streets. If Ajit comes back, Matnau will be ready. Their long alliance has officially come to an end. In the cool of the morning, Matnau leads the street troop out for breakfast. The family haven't seen hair nor tail of Ajit since that fateful night. Matnau is once again the undisputed king. And today, he's got a treat in store for his loyal subjects. Once a year, Matnau leads his family deeper into the forest. It's a journey that takes them through some of the most important wilderness in Singapore. This part of the jungle is home to much of the island's wildlife, who have all carved out a niche within this multi-layered world. On the forest floor, huge wild boar and tiny mouse deer forage for fallen fruits and nuts. They are the ground dwellers. Above them, the cold-blooded residents warm up in the filtered sun. Higher up, a Malayan colugo tries to sleep. These creatures, around the size of a cat, are nocturnal. At night, they glide between the trees, foraging for fresh leaves. But by day, they disappear, blending in. The street troop pass by, oblivious to their presence. Matnau is very focused. They're nearly there. One of the world's most unique fruits is in season: Durian. Around the size of a melon and covered in spikes, they emit a very distinctive smell. A sweet aroma that Matnau can't resist. Breaking one open to get to the custard-like fruit inside is a little tricky. The skin is over 5 centimeters thick. A challenge, even for the male's large canines. A few hundred years ago, all the long-tailed macaques in Singapore were forest dwellers. But as houses and gardens were built increasingly close to their jungle, the macaques emerged to take advantage of easier food options. Their remarkable ability to adapt caused problems. In many parts of Southeast Asia, macaques are seen as pests. With forests disappearing and nowhere to go, they're being culled. Today, the species is globally endangered. But here in Singapore, their numbers are stable. The bigger primates make an effort to conserve their jungle and live side by side with them, so that families like the street troop can thrive. Max is now 6 months old and is eating solids. This is his first taste of Durian. Protected by law, Max will hopefully live a long life here in Singapore. It won't always be easy. He'll have to deal with complex monkey politics and life on the edge of the city. But for today, he gets to enjoy playtime in the jungle. His mom, Sara, is still one of the lowest ranked females in the family. Her status will never change. But against the odds, she's raised Max through the first vulnerable months of his life. With any luck, her son will one day rise up to be a king, just like his father. Deeper in the forest, Lokai leads his family out to feed. In just a few short months, Lokai has mastered the art of living in his jungle home. Even old Judith seems content under his rule. Yasmin, the high-ranked female, is heavily pregnant. Everything Lokai ever wanted has come to fruition. But Lokai is a little uneasy today. He senses someone is in his patch of the forest. And he is right. A roaming male has just arrived into his territory. Ajit, the seasoned warrior, is looking for a new troop to take over. Lokai has won his right to be an alpha. But his battle to hold on to his position has just begun.